So one moment you might feel really powerful about your mindset, where your manifestation is going, you have the motivation, and then suddenly the doubt starts to creep in and you start to question things. Today I'm going to talk about what doubting your manifestation is, why it happens, what to do about it, and how to resolve it. So I've got tons of content and points to talk about for this specific topic, so stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is non-SP. I like to switch it up, but it is talking about doubt, and doubt does creep in a lot with a specific person. So this is going to apply if that's what you're manifesting. And specifically when you're feeling doubt suddenly, obviously it doesn't come up willingly. None of us want to be feeling doubt about, reaching our goals, but what is going to happen and why it comes about and how to actually resolve it, as I just said. So stay tuned for that. For any new viewers or people who are interested, you want to hear it, that was a weird phrase, but everything is on screen. You can see all the extra bonus content, the way to get exclusive content as a member, which the join button should be right below the screen. The link is in the description box. Coaching website is there as well. Everything you need to know if you want extra content, extra support, it's all there, so take a look. Do thumbs up and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me, and you can very easily access all my content and videos in the subscriptions section on YouTube if you do so. And yeah, now let's start the video. Doubt isn't actually proof that your manifestation isn't working. It's not a failure. It's not a step back. I will explain a bit later on. It's more of like standing still, kind of being stuck in one place in that exact moment when doubt is coming in, but it's certainly not moving you back or ruining or impacting your manifestation. I'll explain that even more later in the video, but it's just a sign that those learned habits, learned thought patterns and beliefs and neural pathways inside your body, and sending signals to the brain and everything, it's kind of stuck in that old programming, the old story. And again, it's temporary. It's not permanently stuck. It's not that you've done something wrong and you're the only one stuck behind when, your manifestation slows down tenfold. It's not like that. It's just in that moment, it's a sign that possibly, that old programming is still seeping in and filtering out a little bit. It's not a bad thing. It does come up naturally. It can come up for every single person whilst manifesting. So it's kind of a natural part of the journey, but it just is a sign, okay, that old programming is still there in my mind, in my subconscious beliefs. It's kind of tied in there still a little bit. And your brain will stop going to those old neural pathways, those old automatic habits with repetition as time goes on. By tomorrow, if you stay consistent, don't let the doubt push you off track, you will have kind of started to push through that already. And remember, it's not a fact. It's not a subjective truth in your reality. Like I said, just temporarily in the moment, that's what has come up because of the old story, old doubts. If you didn't have the doubts, you would already be living your manifestation. So it's just natural. You can't expect to be in this utopian mindset where you think perfectly constantly. It's not natural. It's not human. That doubt will come up no matter what. In normal life, in manifestation, even maybe when you have your end result, you're probably not going to think perfectly, 24/7. I have a little Neville Goddard quote that I've been going to with these quotes in my recent videos. So let me just read it out. It does tie into this, and it kind of is, a point that I like to explain a lot about him. He said, "Feeling is the secret. Doubt is just a feeling, and feelings change when you persist." So when he says that, feeling is the secret, feel it real, I think people kind of misinterpret that and say, oh, look, it's proof that, you have to feel the emotions. Why did Neville say that? He wasn't teaching, as a principle that your emotions have to align, because then he would be very focused on, psychological practices of, meditation and mental health, and he wasn't really talking about that in emotional states. He always talked about the mental practices. So it was to do with your thoughts and feeling it real as if it were real now. So imagining it to be real, mentally experiencing it to be real, having that feeling of it's real right now, which has to tie into your thoughts. And also, how he said doubt is just a feeling. It's temporary, it's in the moment. Feelings change when you persist. So literally it's going to pass by, but you need to remember that, you need to focus on it mentally. And the doubt is just something that comes up as part of that. It's natural and it's temporary. So that's something important to hold on to. In quantum terms, the desired reality you want to experience already exists. In religious terms, just in terms of, principles to live by, everything already exists. Everything is already possible. So everything has already been created, whether you believe in God, a higher power, it doesn't always have to correlate to a, religious belief. If you don't have religious beliefs, that's fine. For me, I believe, God already created everything, but creation is finished. And the parallel realities in quantum scientific terms, they already exist. So everything is in existence. There is a parallel reality where, this quantum reality where you can connect to it mentally. Your imagination means it's already been created, of your desired outcome already existing, your relationship with SP, your career, your lifestyle, all these manifestations that you have, whatever your end goal is, it does already exist, and you can connect to it and manifest that being your, literal reality, because it's already been created. If you can imagine it, then it's already real. And by focusing on it and doing these manifestation practices, you are already connecting to it and bringing it into your experience. The doubt just temporarily halts your connection to it and kind of temporarily slows it down in that moment. But if you can push past and push against that doubt, then you're already propelling it forward. So delving a little more, and in quantum terms and kind of psychological terms, what does doubt actually do? It does tie into your reticular activating system and what you see in your 3D, maybe the, quality of birds before land, or just reflections. And this can cause people to panic, like especially if an SP is hot and cold. If that doubt comes in and you hold on to it, or it's been really repetitive and you have this really strong and strongly programmed old story to do with those doubtful thoughts, then your reticular activating system is going to essentially, seek that out and notice those examples in your 3D. So it doesn't have to be directly with another person or your actual manifestation topic or person or concept, but you might see examples of things, or just things on TV, on social media. A memory pops up in your mind. Your mind and your RAS are literally programmed to focus on what the dominant story is, where your focus has gone. If that doubt has been kind of deeply programmed by beliefs, it is going to show up a little bit. It's nothing to panic about. But it might be that around that time, or because of that doubt, you see examples or think of things that pop up in your mind, not just, seeing things in your 3D reality, but mentally thinking things and having memories pop up or doubt pop up even more, like this cycle of seeing that. But if you apply your mental diet, you persist, this does fade away. I'm just talking about what happens in the moment, maybe in that day, in the next hour or so. Those kind of things can show up. I'm not saying permanently or for the rest of your manifesting experience, but just in that moment and temporarily, that's the effect of things that could happen. Again, it's temporary. This isn't to fearmonger or, freak you guys out. I'm just saying what could happen in that moment, things that can pop up in your mind, in your reality, but obviously there are ways to handle it. And as I said, a mental diet is one of the key ways. So on a positive note, having that doubt is a sign that your manifestation is working. That old story, the doubt, that's tied into subconscious fear and negative memories, negative assumptions, to do with your manifestation or past negative experiences, rejection, all these things, that old story is filtering out. It's coming to the surface because it's purging out. It's, being released, removed from your mind, being replaced with the new beliefs. And you're recognizing it. You're saying, oh, this is actually the opposite of where my focus has been, what I want, what I'm working towards manifesting and creating. And me noticing it, labeling it as doubt, recognizing, oh, I've had so many doubtful thoughts. You're not just labeling those as thoughts or reality, you're labeling it as doubt, because it's not your manifestation, it's not your end result. So it's the old story, it's just coming to the surface, and it's the opposite. So you're already labeling it and framing it in your mind in the correct way, rather than just normalizing it and saying, oh, this is life, this is just the way it is. I have these thoughts because that's my reality. It's not, and you've changed your way of thinking. You now have all these tools to apply a positive mindset. So all of it tied in together is actually positive. It's an opportunity to recognize it and replace it with the positive. So as I talked about mental diet there, that is the key thing. You just want to think as if you already have what you want. label it and basically, use a mental diet affirmation or visual. You can do any format, but affirmations are my favorite go-to, saying this is the old story. That is no longer true. I don't connect with this. My new reality is X. Just replace it in a way where you're saying, this isn't my life, this isn't my reality, this isn't the end result. And then you're basically saying, I have what I want, or getting specific and literally using your affirmation, saying, I have this, SP and I in a relationship, whatever it may be. Literally replace it so you're not accepting it and saying, yeah, this is normal, this is the way it is. You're saying, no, that is the old story, and I'm going to keep reminding my mind until it stops bringing this up. Because remember that repetition is going to rewire your mind. It rewires your thoughts really powerfully. The more repetition you can do and the more consistently you can practice it, the better. So really focus on your new reality and create an anchor and a dominant focus of already having the exact outcome that you want. You can use a blanket statement as well. Blanket affirmations can work well as well. What it's also doing is literally resetting your neural pathways, your nervous system, and I'm not going to delve too deep into that because that does get a bit more scientific. But essentially, it changes everything in your mind and your body, the signals your mind is sent, just the way you react, the way you feel. You'll notice that emotion, that shift in your emotions and your thoughts. So it's literally rewiring your nervous system, your automated reactions. That anxious feeling that wells up, that will fade away as well. So as a mental diet affirmation and just principle to hold on to as well, remember, doubt isn't failure. It doesn't mean your manifestation is ruined. It means the old programming is filtering out. You're recognizing it. You're realizing it. You're literally shifting the way you think. Because normal people wouldn't say, oh, I just had a doubtful thought. You would just treat it as a normal thought. You just treat it as your reality. You take it as objective fact, but you're saying, no, that's a doubt. That's the opposite. So that's the way to acknowledge it. Not accept it as a 3D fact, but say, that may have been true, but it's no longer true. Or just simply, denying that and saying, that's not my reality. And each time you're applying that repetition, it's strengthening it. It's building it up and up until it becomes a belief and becomes automatic. The time frame for it becoming a belief, is kind of independent, not independent, what am I trying to say? Specific to everyone. It's an individual experience essentially. So it's not that there's an exact, quantifiable time frame or anything like that. Usually once people get their manifestation, the belief is there, but it can take even longer than that. So especially for more random manifestations, you probably won't expect it or fully believe it. It comes in as quite a shock sometimes, but essentially with that repetition, you're strengthening it, you're building it up, and that doubt does get, it just fades away on its own. So remember that whatever your dominant story is, whatever your main focus is, where your dominant mental state is, meaning it should be on the end result that you want, thinking about that reality, imagining and reminding yourself it's yours, it's real, and that telling yourself that's what you're experiencing now, your reality will literally bend, like time will bend and shift into, the timeline where this already exists, the reality where this exists, and your 3D will conform to bring that in and show you that and say, yes, you do have it. Here it is. So that is today's video. I hope that was useful. I think I went on a helpful tangent there. If you enjoyed, please do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time.